Hey, this is James. As you can see from the title, 58-year-old man goes to a rave. Well, if you mean a rave being a concert of MarshMellow at Red Rocks, yeah, that was always what I thought a rave would be like. And I know you're saying to yourself, why'd you go see MarshMellow? Ain't you a little old for that? I was helping out my 21-year-old son. He had an injury at 5 years old, so I have to help him with some stuff every once in a while, not to get any personal information out about him because he is a watcher of my channel and loves my content. And but I went with him to help him out there, and he brought a friend with, and we had a great time. I gotta say, I was probably the oldest guy there. This is my first EDM concert. Never really been into electronica that much, although I do enjoy playing around making beats and making music, with the MIDI board. And um, it's just so easy to go in and play around and try to put your ideas down with what's there. And this whole thing. I don't remember the other two DJs that were there before MarshMellow. One was wearing a black hooded masks thing, and the other guys were wearing like Freddy um, or Jason masks and stuff. Sorry for the slur. I'm getting used to some Invisaligns, and so I'm going to talk like this for a little bit. Finally decided to do it. I should have done it a long time ago. So anyway, that's why I've turned everything purple and blue in my room, in my office. But going there, it reminded me of going to my first Rocky Horror Picture Show back in the 80s, early 80s, where everybody was dressed up. Some of you young ones out there might not know what I mean, but essentially at the MarshMellow concert, the age range there was 15 to 35 probably. And then old man me, 58 years old, there with his son, and I enjoyed it. It's a great time. It was great to see what the scene looks like. I listened to a lot of that music because I also have a 21-year-old and as well, excuse me, I have an 18-year-old and a 21 and a 33 something. Oh, a 33-year-old. He's more into 90s music and stuff, and classic rock and some other jam band vibe band type stuff. But these two younger boys are into this, heavy electronic music, which most of all pop music now seems to be generated that way. I mean, just a nice MIDI keyboard here and a good DAW. I just use the MPC Beats and another free DAW Reaper to play around. And my wife came home the other night, and I had some stuff going, and she was like, "You having a house party here?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just messing around." And that's what people, I guess they call themselves producers. And, they make beats, and a lot of stuff is sung over that now. A lot of new music is all done, through DAWs, digital audio workstation. Ever since they got cheap with Pro Tools, I guess in the '90s is when I first started it. I'd played around with an Amigo back in the day, and MIDI and messing around, and basically because a guy I knew had it, and we're computer geeks. And on that toaster, you could make a lot of good music out of nothing, just out of software. And so that's what this was a software show, really, of software music, samples of real music. And I guess I should say the computer music is real music too now. Although I'm a little biased, as you can tell. Um, so yeah, the crowd scene, a lot of ass hanging out. Chicks in black bikinis or black swimming suits with thongs going up, and not complaining. Um, just they're all would be my daughter's age, yeah, fishnet stockings and a big, I forget the name of the combat boots, but it's kind of like the punk, it's just a recycle of the punk scene from long ago. Um, one of the when they're waiting in line to go up there, or one of the girls making their way through the line stopped and was talking with my son for a bit, and then he said, "Hey, Dad, something, something." She goes, "Oh my God, that's your dad?" And she gave me a hug, and then um, was she asked me if I was ready to bang my head, and the marshmallow that I've heard hadn't been headbanging music, and I'm thinking heavy metal. And I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, I'm ready to bang my head, because I've heard Marshmello tracks, in the truck when I'm driving my son around, and the one that's on the Kane Brown stuff. There's a couple other singers. I think was it Debbie Lovato maybe. Can't think who. I mean, there's a lot of collaborations like DJ Khaled does. Where I always say, he gets these great singers. I used to think he exploits these good singers, with his tracks behind it, but I've kind of changed my opinion on exploiting. I understand what's going on better now in the music business on the side of things. Um, but then, so I got up there and went through the first two DJs, the opening acts, and then another gal that was standing beside me um, asked me who I was here to see, and I said, "Well, Marshmallow, of course." And oh yeah, good. I got a couple friends coming, and they're going to be here too, and so it might get crowded. I'm like, oh, no problem. I'm flexible. And if you've ever been to Red Rocks, I mean, it's you got to go. If you've never been there from somewhere else, find your favorite artists that are coming there and fly out here, spend your money, stay, and go to Red Rocks. You got to go to Red Rocks. There's nothing like it, but there's a lot of room and people float in and out. Um, and this was one of those shows where it was almost, except the VIP area, almost everything was GA. There's other shows where they try to rip stuff off, and depending on what the show is, it can get kind of, everything just moves up and down through the amphitheater there. And so I was like, no problem. She goes, "Oh, is this your first time to Red Rocks?" And I smiled at her and said, "No, 41 years ago was my first time." And she kind of looked at me confused, which is kind of funny. And then she just said, "Oh, okay, good." But unfortunately, she didn't ask who it was, because I was going to proudly say who it was. It's one of the most memorable experiences at 17. Can't remember if I was 16 or 17 years old, but I got free ticket because I could drive. And my buddy was a year younger than me, and I was the son of a preacher's kid, and so his parents thought it'd be safe for them to go up with me. And um, it was Ronnie James Dio was the opening act. Was the headliner. Opening act. Act one was Quiet Riot. This is before their "We're Not Going to Take It" hit MTV just a couple weeks later, and then Twisted Sister before they hit was the middle, and then Ronnie James Dio, and it was awesome. We got rained on. It was wet. Felt miserable for a while. When Dee Snider came on, I'd never heard so much cussing, so much cuss words in a sentence put together. Very impressive. Um, and and then Ronnie James Dio, which would let's go like going to like a druid religious event. Yeah, it was crazy. Um, you know, he the guy's voice was amazing. And this is the day before, pitch correction, auto tune, and it's just the regular effects that were around at the time of the middle '80s, and man, this dude could sing, and it was a wild scene, great time. Anyway, back to the show. So we, MarshMellow came out, had the levitating stage. Well, no, before he came out, they started in between the middle and MarshMellow. They played some of those other stuff, and so I was asking my son, "Is he going to come out?" And then I started thinking about all the controversies lately of backing tracks and miming to tracks of what allegedly the Eagles, Con Henley, might be doing, and some of the other old guys that are starting to lose their voice. Unfortunately, lose their voice like it's going to happen to everybody. I mean, my mom was an awesome singer, and she got older. Her voice went away, but she still sang in church all the way up until until she passed away. And it wasn't the voice that my mom once had, but it was all right. I mean, but you could tell as it got older. And so I get sidetracked here with um, all these rich rockers doing their last show, but having to do a substantial amount of supportive vocal support and backing tracks to make it happen. And I get it. Steve Perry from Journey, he just stopped singing, and because he couldn't do it. And I got to respect that, and I feel bad for the guy. But any of these guys that hit in the higher up range, and they can't do it anymore. It's just, unfortunately, it's what happens to our bodies as we get older, and it's the way it is. You can't, a baseball player, an old baseball, hitter can't hit anymore because the eye-hand coordination isn't, and that's crazy crap that happens to you as you get old. And whether people want to admit that or not, that's the way it is. So if you want to pay $1,000 to see Don Henley allegedly mime to and give a performance that way, cool. And I'm not an Eagles fan, so I don't really care. But if that's what someone wants to do to, have that lasting memory of great harmonies and how good they sound, go for it. And so anyway, I get away again from my point is, so I'm wondering, with MarshMellow, it's all computer generated music where, he's all tapped this in, into some type of arranger, into his stuff, and uses samples and stuff. And it's all pre-recorded. And so is he really mixing it up when he's up there? So it's something new, or do the fans expect it to be exactly the same as they hear it? So like the Def Leppard's another one in there. When the drummer lost his arm, they had to use the old school sequence. What started all this, which was sequencers and some of the original drum machines. And hip hop took those drum machines and sequencers and ran with it to make great rap. But you gotta wonder, so I'm up there like, they're playing the pre-show stuff without him on stage, and I asked my son, so is he going to come out? Because I started thinking, no, this dude's got the ultimate gig. He mixed all this stuff up, laid all the tracks down, and got 20,000 people to show up and pay, $100 a ticket, and he doesn't have to show up for the show. Yeah, good deal. And but then the show did. So I was wondering, I started thinking about MarshMellow, and the DJing, and Dead Mouse from back in the day, because Dead Mouse I could see, that's what my first familiarity with EDM. It was back in the late '90s. I was in my early 30s, married with a kid on the corporate track, and saw the movie Go in '99. And the plot of the show was the supermarket worker was trying to get some 20 hits of E to go to a rave, but they gave her fake ones. And then comedy ensues. Great old movie to watch. But I always remember like, oh geez, I'm married, and these people look like they're having a fun going to a rave. And Fast and Furious was out around that time, and going to the parties, and here I already am an old man, feeling like an old man at 30 because I have the family life. But so I always wanted to go to a rave, but never really, so that's why I called going to a rave here. And So I got the full experience of EDM live, and MarshMellow put on a good show. He had a black version, I guess Mellow Death is the name of the tour. He had a black version, a burnt marshmallow helmet on his head, and he had another guy with him. I don't know who that is helping him on the boards, but the good pyro, good light show. Everybody's vibing to it. Everybody's cool. I mean, everybody's totally cool. I mean, I got treated fine, and and I'm sure there are people wondering, what's this old freak doing here at the show? And when I did go out to go to the bathroom, I did see another set of younger parents, gray hair like me on the side, rocking out to it. I'm sure they look like they more had a teenage son or daughter that they were watching over, but they're hanging out on the stairs on the side. But yeah, lots of drugs, and I was cracking up that maybe I look like an FBI narc there, because I got my corporate haircut, and glasses on and look very straight and stuff. But I don't care what they're doing. Going to a concert, you let your freak flag fly, and that's what they did. They had a great time. I had a great time. My son loved it. It's his first Red Rocks concert, and I've done it with all my kids. I got one to do. I'm getting them Suicide Boy tickets here for September, I think, because you gotta experience that as a kid, your first concert, if it's ever at Red Rocks. It's like nothing ever before. And I always say, some of my friends are teasing me about going to the show, you wear earplugs and stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to soak it in and have a good time and just, vibe with it. Cause, that's kind of music it is. It wasn't, I could see where it was heavy metal and kind of like heavy metal, it's got that big beat, stuff, it's kind of like, I don't know, like what the Chemical Brothers, first pioneered, I guess, clear back in the 90s and stuff. And even before that was Kraftwerks, back in the 70s, put all that stuff together. I think, they're German guys. Kraftwerks. It would be German, wouldn't it? That brought us at EDM. But thoughts in my head about it. Great time. Everybody is cool. Good show. Probably never go back again unless I need to help my son out. He wants to go see another one, which I think it's going to be. It's a rapper that he wants to go see, so we'll go experience that. Now that will be another track show, because I don't think there'll be a band on stage. It'll all be pre-recorded tracks with the rapper giving a performance over the tracks and stuff. And I forgot the name of who it's going to be, but I said I'd go. Like I said, any show at Red Rocks is a good show. It's a great place. Did I say it's a great place? Yeah, come out to Red Rocks. Put it on your bucket list. Come out to Red Rocks. If you want to see country music there, awesome. You want to see a symphony there, awesome. That's why I say I love all kinds of music. I'm trying to become a better musician. Trying to get better at the guitar. Trying to get myself ready for an open mic night, which means I need to be a better singer. So I'm going to go get some singing lessons, and just using that goal to push myself to finally be good at guitar, and not just pick around and play, but to actually be a performer and let my ego out a little bit, and push myself into territory that I always wanted to do. Who doesn't want to be a rock star, right? But I'm not going to be a rock star. I mean, I'm going to pretend in front of a bunch of people that are trying to eat their food, I guess, or drink some beers. I'm wondering, what the hell is this guy doing? So, anyway, that's a 58-year-old man goes to a rave. All right. Catch you guys next time.
you guys.